Monster puppy!
By the way, Tommy, Blazy wants to get out of the car. He's had enough. We've been in here for almost 2 hours. He wants to get to his mountain home, so let's get him down.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a nail biter.
Way below the speed limit. 3, 2, 1, go.
Every single time I've driven past this little parking lot, there's been a car stuck, and today's no exception.
All right, this is a charging race now.
Connecting to vehicle. Come on, car. I'm not sure we're charging.
That whole time that you were talking, I've had my hand off the wheel, Tommy.
I'm sitting right at 39.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Loveland Trials, the world's toughest electric car test. And today we have the world's most popular electric car, the Model Y. And of course, we've got the Challenger. Tommy, what are you driving?
That's right, the 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E.
And we're gonna take these cars up and over not one but 2 mountain passes for about 150 miles to find out which of these two is more efficient. So I've got the Model Y Performance, Tommy. That means that on my little display I've got 294 miles of range. How about you?
Well, I've got the Mustang Mach-E standard range all-wheel drive, which means in theory I should have a range of 211 miles according to the EPA.
But what are you getting for real?
Well, the screen is predicting 158 miles, and I've got 150 miles to drive to our first charger.
Yeah, and that's because it is cold here in Colorado. So let's see how these two cars do on the world's toughest electric car test. Now, both of these cars are not exactly what they seem, because this is a Mustang in mainly name only, because as far as I know, there's never really been a Mustang with 5 doors. And the Model Y, well, the Model Y is basically a tall Model 3 with the same thing. Oh, it does stick a little bit. A giant hatchback. So in terms of size and overall dimensions, they are basically very similar, except for one. Tommy, how much do they weigh?
If you look at the stickers here on the door, the Mustang is heavier than the Tesla, coming in at 4,600 pounds. That is a huge amount of weight for a relatively small car. It's about 100 or so pounds heavier than the Model Y.
And to make this more fair, we're actually adding ballast to the Model Y because, well, it's got a lot more range.
Monster puppy!
Hop in, Blaze.
No, to be honest, Blaze has to go spend some time with his mom up in the mountains, so we're gonna drop him off on the way.
Yep, it happens to be right. No, stay in place. It happens to be on our way. So the Bernese mountain dog is gonna spend the holidays in the mountains, aren't you, Blazy? Watch out, Blazy. Watch out.
There he goes.
There he goes. All right, well, let's hit the road, Tommy. Hey, Tommy, I think Blazy's excited to get to the mountains. He is a mountain dog after all.
I think you're right, Dad, but we've got a long journey to get up there.
Now, we have modified the Loveland Trials to make it a lot harder by adding, well, basically another mountain pass. So instead of just going up and down the Loveland pass, we're going to go up the Loveland Pass, down the backside of Loveland, and then into Keystone, into Silverthorne, and then up what we like to call the Gauntlet.
That's right, one of the steepest highways in the US that is just relentless. And then back down the mountain, and we're gonna stop in Golden, Colorado, and we're gonna do a charging test. You're gonna plug into a supercharger by Tesla, and I'm gonna plug into an Electrify America and see what happens with the charging.
Yeah, because we also want to see not just how much energy they use, but how quickly and effectively you can, get the power back in. Do you think you can actually make it to that supercharger? That's 150 miles.
Yeah, well, the Ford is reading 150 some miles of range right now.
But the computer works very differently than the Tesla system.
What Tesla says is basically, this is the EPA range, you're at this percentage, here you go, this is how far you can drive. What Ford does is it looks at the temperature and your driving style and the climate control setting and says, well, realistically,
you can only go this far. So this range meter better be darn accurate or I'm in a lot of trouble.
This is our long-term Tesla Model Y that we bought for an MSRP of $63,000. Now, in a perfect world, we would compare this vehicle to the Mustang Mach-E GT. which isn't available. So then we thought, let's compare it to the Mustang Mach-E extended range, but Ford decided to provide us with the standard range all-wheel drive. So not exactly apples to oranges, but it will be cool to see comparison-wise how many miles of range we use and how much battery we use on the world's toughest electric car test.
Tommy, how about cost? How much do they cost?
Well, the Mach-E has an MSRP of about $50,000, but it does apply for the $7,500 federal tax credit, so the Mustang, in theory, is much more affordable. So one of the coolest screens in the new Mach-E is the trip computer. Take a look at this. On the trip computer, it shows you where your energy went. It shows you how you're driving in terms of acceleration, deceleration, and your speed. It shows you, what percentage of power or energy goes where. So for example, 13% has gone into climate, 75% has gone into driving, 6% has gone into accessories, and 6% has gone into exterior temperature, which I believe means trying to keep the battery at the right temperature because it's cold outside. And we've been averaging 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour, which is pretty rough, but we are going uphill constantly.
All right, Tommy, we've gotten onto I-70 and we are now in some pretty heavy traffic, and this is where Tesla's Autopilot works really well. And I've got it engaged. It's really simple. I just pull down on the stalk twice, and then the car will not only steer itself, but it will also use proximity distance control to keep me at the same distance in front of this car in front of me.
Well, the Ford has a very similar system, so I'm going to engage the adaptive cruise control.
I'm going to set it at 60, and it will maintain the same distance between me and the car in front of me, and I can adjust that distance using this button here. And then I'm going to engage lane centering. All right, lane keeping system on. And now what it'll do is it will keep me centered in my lane, or at least it should. And as long as I have a hand on the wheel, it should keep me pointing in the same direction, but it's having a hard time finding the lane here. Now on both of these systems, you have to have a hand on the wheel. You have to be alert and ready to take over at any time. But same thing, I've got my hand rested here on the steering wheel and I'm just cruising along in the Ford.
Sorry about the panting. That's Blazy. He likes to have a full commanding view of the road. So what happens when you take your hand off the wheel?
Well, let's see. Okay, so I've got hand on the wheel. I've got a little bubble system around me that kind of shows me what's around me. So hand off the wheel. It's still good. I'm just hovering over the wheel to take control at any time, monitoring the system. Hand is still off the wheel. It is now driving itself. Oh, there it goes. It says keep hand on steering wheel. All right, so I got a little bit of time out of it, but it's just like the Tesla, right? Even the full self-driving system on the Tesla is still a hands-on system. At least it is for the time being. But that's changing quickly, and Ford is coming out with their own hands-off system as well.
That whole time that you were talking, I've had my hand off the wheel, Tommy. I still have my hand off the wheel, and the thing's not yelling at me.
You're a road hazard, Dad.
No, it's just, I'm amazed. Oh, there it goes. Now he just told me to apply pressure to the steering wheel.
All right, now here's a bigger question. How much range you got left?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. I'm pretty happy. So I'm at 77% battery remaining, and I have, according to the car, 114 miles left, but we've gone 40 miles, and I've used 23% battery in 40 miles, so I'm feeling pretty confident. The little range meter is really stressing you out for no reason, I think, but we'll see what happens as we continue down the highway.
Yeah, electric cars are all about range, right? Like real estate's about location. And my car says 224, projected range 155. It's just a lot more comfort in this vehicle.
Here's where things get super, super interesting if you're an EV nerd like myself. This Mach-E has a gross battery capacity of 75 kilowatt hours. And if we step over to the Tesla, Tesla doesn't tell us the exact number, but from what I've read online is also about 75 kilowatt hours. The difference in range comes down to how the vehicle uses that energy, how it is pushed through the motors, how the manufacturer rates the car in the cycle, and how much of the battery.
Okay, that's very confusing. What is the EPA Mpg on the Mach-E versus the Tesla?
Well, the Mpge on the Ford is about 93 combined, and the Mpge here on the Tesla is 111. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a nail biter. Now, this is the scary part. The Ford says I have 80 miles of range left.
Yeah, the Tesla says 172. Projected 90 miles range, but it doesn't know that I'm going to be going back down the mountain.
Yes, same thing with the Ford. It doesn't understand that we are going to go flying down I-70, but before we go down, we have to go up, right?
I mean, we've made this test a lot harder because now we're not going to go down the same way we came back up. We're going to go down the backside of Loveland, and then we're going to have to go back up what we're calling the Gauntlet, of course, which is, you know, the 8 miles of steep upgrade from Silverthorne to the top of the Eisenhower Tunnel.
Now on these back twisty roads, Dad, I'd say the Mustang is good, not great to drive. It feels heavy, the steering is a little bit slow. I mean, it's very confident, but it doesn't inspire me to really fling it around.
Yeah, the Tesla actually feels smaller than it is. It's really weird. You know, some cars feel bigger and heavier, and some cars feel smaller, and this one actually feels smaller.
Part of that could be because both of these cars weigh as much as a Ford Explorer, but the Tesla is such quick steering and such aggressive brakes, even the non-performance model, it's just more fun to drive.
Yeah, and the other, of course, issue is I've got snow-rated tires, which helps a lot going up Loveland Pass in the snow.
So you can see to the top of Loveland Pass here, we have gone almost 70 miles. I've been driving very efficiently according to the Ford, and we are at 50% state of charge.
All right, well, we made it to the top of Loveland Pass. It's spectacular up here, and normally this is where we would turn around. But because we're gonna make this much harder, we're gonna go down the mountain on the other side and then back up I-70, right, Tommy?
And the car right now, the Mustang,
yeah,
50% state of charge,
okay,
which is pretty good.
Yeah.
But 70 miles of range. Let me compare that to the Tesla.
Sure.
The Tesla's sitting at 52%. Once again, we started at about 95% state of charge, so we used, what's that? The Tesla's used 43% of its battery, the Ford has used 50% of its battery. It's time to keep on going.
All right, well, what happens, I mean, once you get to the top of Eisenhower Tunnel, it's all down, right? So basically you gotta make it to the top of the Eisenhower.
Yep.
All right, well, let's keep going. This is what makes it so interesting. By the way, Tommy, Blazy wants to get out of the car. He's had enough. We've been in here for almost 2 hours. He wants to get to his mountain home, so let's get him down.
All right, let's get him out of the car.
Every single time I've driven past this little parking lot, there's been a car stuck, and today is no exception. Check it out, it was about 8 miles down the backside of Loveland Pass. Our miles per kilowatt hour have increased dramatically, and now we have 53% battery remaining, so we regen 3% back into the battery. All right, this is a little detour here to drop off Blaze, and one thing that's kind of funny I noticed on the snow, when you lift off the throttle, the regenerative braking is sometimes so firm it activates the ABS and it has to release the regen brakes. That's pretty funny.
Hey Blaze, you're at your mountain home. Yay!
Yay! All right,
Yay.
Go pee.
Go pee. Go pee, Blaze. Go pee. Go pee. Come on. Go pee. All right, Tommy, here we go. Up the Gauntlet. Basically, we're going to do the steepest stretch of I-70 from Silverthorne to the top of the Eisenhower Tunnel. This is where we take our trucks and do all of our towing. And luckily with electric cars, the fact that we're going from like 9,000 feet to 12,000 feet, almost 12,000, doesn't really matter, does it?
Well, I mean, it matters a lot in terms of battery capacity, but no, in terms of power or horsepower loss at altitude, certainly that does not play a factor.
Hey, you want to try doing a little impromptu kind of acceleration once we get on the highway?
Alright, sure. I'm going to go into unbridled here, see if you can keep up.
You next to me?
Alright.
Alright, we're way below the speed limit. 3, 2, 1, go! Bye! Bye!
What do you think of that?
The Ford Mustang Mach-E standard range all-wheel drive goes like stink from 0 to about 30 miles per hour, and then it really drops off after about 30. It's still pretty quick at highway speeds, but it is no Model Y. It's certainly, I don't even think it's as quick as a standard Model Y, just seat of the pants experience. You know what the best part of the Mach-E is?
The name?
It's a good name, very good name, but the little instrument screen in front of the steering wheel. I love being able to just glance down to see my speed without having to turn my head right to look at the screen.
Yeah, I agree. You know, we had the Model X and it had that screen in front of me, and I really missed that. I'm not sure that you know, not having a screen in front of you is such a great thing.
I'm sitting right at 39.
I'm at 45% now.
All right, 38%. So basically I used over 10% battery to climb up that hill. 8 miles, right? It's 7 or 8 miles at 10%. That's a big consumption rate.
All right, well, let's head back down. Let's see how these vehicles do regenning power.
10-4, I'm starting at 38%. Let's see how high I get.
I was at 45. All right, Tommy, how many miles of range do you have left now that we're heading to the Chargers?
Well, the car is saying 44 miles, and it says I have 30% state of charge. How about you, Dad?
117 miles, 40% battery left.
Very interesting. We will do a little tally to see how much we use when we stop at the Chargers, because I'll be curious to see what the difference is.
But this is a very unusual area, Dad, because both the Electrify America and the Tesla Supercharger are right next to each other.
All right, well, why don't we do a little charging race?
Ooh, that's a good idea. Okay, so we will plug in. We'll set a timer for what?
You know, I think 15 minutes is perfect. You know, that's still like 15 times longer than most people would spend at a gas station. All right, Tommy, so how many miles did we go in both cars?
Well, we drove both cars the same exact distance, 143 miles.
So what'd you figure out?
This is where things get really interesting. So if we look at the gauges in terms of miles,
Right.
the Tesla used 172 miles of range,
Yep.
and the Ford used 123. But
Okay.
that does not tell the full story.
No, that's confusing.
Yeah, it's very confusing because the gauges read totally different, they measure totally different, so let's go off of the amount of charge we used over that 143 miles.
Okay.
The Tesla used
Yeah.
56% of its battery pack,
Okay.
and the Mach-E
Yeah.
used 70% of its battery pack.
And they both have about a 75 kilowatt hour.
Yeah, but keep in mind that Ford lets you use less of that battery pack as far as we know.
Let's do our little race, huh? Let's see who can charge more in the next 15 minutes. So you got the stopwatch going?
Okay, I see you've got quite the busy charger there, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go into my stopwatch. I'm going to set a timer.
Okay, here we go.
For 15 minutes.
All right, 15 minutes. Why don't you stay with Tommy, because for me it's just going to be pulling in and plugging in. You're going to be a little bit more complicated.
That's what you think. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, this is a charging race now. Let's see which one of us can get more power. There are a lot of Teslas charging, and that's not a good thing because Teslas share chargers, and so you get less juice if you're hooked up next to another one. But I think I got lucky in that there is a charger that is not being shared.
I'm gonna pull up here to the station. This is an Electrify America station. It's rated at 350 kilowatts, which is super, super fast. Man, did a bad job parking. This is not going well.
The charger knows exactly what car I'm using, and it should be seamless. I don't have to swipe anything or put any credit cards in. So let's see here.
So with plug and charge here at the Electrify America, it should be super simple. Step 1, pop the little cover. Step 2, unleash the CCS plug. Step 3, grab the Electrify station plug. And step 4, plug it in. And now, please charge. It should charge.
Right there, and the way it works is, well, actually it's even easier than that. You just bring it over here, bring it over, hit the little button. Isn't that cool? It knows, it opens. Plug it in. That's it.
Connecting to vehicle. Come on, car. I'm not sure we're charging.
We'll be charging now. All right, supercharging. There we go. And this is the important number, 68 kilowatts, which is pretty low actually.
Charging station fault. Okay, so apparently this charging station has some issues. Let's go try another one.
Giving me 300 miles an hour plus 2 miles already. Charging at 75 kilowatts. It's a little disappointing.
Here we go. CCS, ooh, this is up to 150 kilowatts. This one is slower, bummer. Well, let's see if this one works. Connecting to vehicle. Okay, I think that means it's, well, no.
Let me make sure I'm not sharing a charger with one of the other cars here.
All right, well, bummer. It looks like this station has a bad chip reader, so on to the next one.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I'm sharing any chargers.
There we go. Third time's a charm. Oh man, here comes my dad to gloat. Please remove card. Oh, here we go, here we go. Yes, we're charging. Finally, we are charging. That. Oh, look at us go. We're already up to 31%. So we are polling right now. 39 kilowatts, 40. It's supposed to do up to 150.
Well, it's supposed to do up to 250 if you got the right one.
What are you doing?
Both are 59.
59? I'm doing 39. It's going slower. All right, well, we'll see who gets more charging.
Well, I'm obviously going to get more charge. I mean, I'm twice your speed.
It's gonna pick up. We're gonna see a boost.
Okay.
You'll see.
Okay, Tommy. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop charging, dude. I'm stopping it. Stop charging. I just stopped.
No, I'm still going.
Why are you going? Stop.
Look at this. No, look at this. It's exciting.
Why? I stopped.
Look at the huge jump. Oh no, we're back down to 45. It went all the way up to 46 kilowatts. That's pretty bad.
Right, we'll stop it.
All right. I know. I'm stopping.
I'm gonna stop it when you stop.
Okay, I'm stopped.
Okay, I'm stopped too. All right, how much did you charge? How much did it charge you?
$2.25.
Yeah.
11 minutes. Oh, that's the grace period. 8 minutes charging.
Yeah.
5 kilowatt hours. And I have, so in $2.25, I have gained, let's see how much on the car. Survey says 38%. So I gained 8% in 8 minutes. That is not good.
57%.
Okay, so 57%. So you went up by 18 kilowatt hours.
But I got billed $4.05. So I spent twice as much.
Yeah, but I only went up 5 kilowatt hours.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh my, that was a long day, Tommy. How many miles did we drive altogether, do you know?
Yeah, it was somewhere around 180.
Yeah, it's a long day.
But it was a lot of traffic and a lot of snow and a lot of slow going.
So, let's get together in the conference room and kind of go over the positives and negatives of both cars before we wrap this up. All right, Tommy, I want to make this a little bit more analytical.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to assign winners to all these different categories and see which of the two vehicles is better, okay? All right, let's start with style, Tommy. You like the Mach-E or the Model Y better?
Oh, definitely the Ford. I think the Tesla is a remarkably ugly vehicle.
All right, so Tommy gives that one. I like the Model Y better, so we're tied. Performance, I think that's easy.
Well, I mean, we haven't tried the GT, but at least in terms of long-range Model Y to the equivalent Ford, I think Model Y has the edge.
Okay, how about ride?
Oh, definitely the Ford.
Okay, that's two, both of us, I think.
Okay, you agree?
Yeah. Utility, I think they're one each. They're both.
Yeah.
They're both about the same, right?
Sure, we'll give one each.
Economy, the Model Y is better at MPGE.
Okay, I'll agree with you on that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
How about value?
Oh, value is Ford, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, especially with the tax credit.
Okay, all right, I agree.
Okay.
So let's count them up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
On the Tesla, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So Tom, this is what I was expecting to happen. We've got a tie, but I've got a tiebreaker, and that to me is the charging infrastructure. And it doesn't matter if it's Ford or Hyundai or GM. If you're really serious about selling electric cars, I think as an automaker, you have to build out that entire charging structure like Tesla did, because obviously, well, we've shown that Electrify America or the other networks aren't making it and aren't working. You're kind of starting out with one foot in the grave when you don't have your own charging network.
The Mach-E is a good car. It's quiet. I think the range is plenty for real-world driving, but it just isn't as fun to drive as pretty much any Tesla, even the base models.
All right, well, there you have it, guys. As always, this is Roman.
And Tommy, check out TFL Car and TFLTruck.com for what, Dad?
For more news, views, and of course, honest and independent reviews. All right, see you guys next time. Ciao.